You know, it's not very often that I find myself walking out of a movie truly contemplating what I just saw and proceeding to have a 20-minute conversation with my girlfriend about said movie on the car ride back home. I mean, have you seen the state of modern day cinema? It's kind of shit. But what do you know? I did that just last night after seeing A24's latest release, Warfare. For what it's worth, this review will be spoiler free, so if you plan on seeing this film, no need to fear. Just sit back, relax, and listen to the sound of my voice. I don't know what I was going for there. Anyway, Warfare. Let's talk about it.
Say what again? Say what again? Say what again? Say what again?
Before I get into this, Toller Team, I want to let a couple of things be known. One, if you're a veteran of any war, combat or not, some of the scenes in Warfare may be a bit intense for you. Not in a holy shit, Charlie's in the bushes and shooting at me kind of way, but just in a very emotional way. I know the large majority of the veteran community are capable of handling the emotional gravity of films like these, but this particular film pulls on certain strings that might cause a physical or mental reaction out of some. Two, in case you can't tell from my previous two sentences, I myself am a veteran, a US Marine in fact, that deployed to Afghanistan in the early 2010s. I say that because when I criticize war films, especially ones that pose themselves as true to the time and place, I take into account just how authentic they are. 3. If you're looking for a non-stop action, shit blowing up everywhere like Michael Bay rubbed his dick all over the script, Warfare isn't going to be for you. This film is more of an emotional exploration of what troops see and feel while in the Middle East. So yeah, there is some action because it is a war film after all, but it's more likely to have you gripping your seat as opposed to being an adrenaline-fueled action spectacle. With that being said, let's get into this. Also, like, subscribe, touch yourself, you guys know the drill.
Whoop, whoop. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
So, Warfare is about the real-life story of Ray Mendoza, a US Navy SEAL that actually wrote and co-directed this film beside Alex Garland. If you don't know who Garland is, 28 days later. There, hope that clears that up. Anyway, the film follows a team of Navy SEALs as they traverse the real-life battle of Ramadi in Iraq back in 2006. The film was written based entirely off the memories of Mendoza, recalling the chaos, emotion, and eternal brotherhood that was born out of the war efforts that took place during the battle. For an innovative, unknown story like this, there is a shit ton of well-known names in the cast. Will Poulter, or Eyebrows as I call him, Joseph Quinn, Cosmo Jarvis, and the lead character, Mendoza himself, is played by DeFaro Wunatai? Yeah, did I say that right? DeFaro Wu-Tang. That's what I'm calling him from this point forward. Yep. So 100% of the film takes place inside a sizable housing compound where our SEAL team is pinned down and being moved in on by a large group of Al-Qaeda insurgents. That's it. That's all I can tell you, unless you want to get into spoiler territory, and I'm just not doing that. So feel free to send me an angry fax or something if you don't like that.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
The biggest question I had walking into this film is it authentic? Or is it like pretty much every other war film starring Mark Wahlberg where he's this indestructible badass that never once feels like he's in danger?
Boo this man!
Well, my dear viewer, I am happy to report that Warfare is probably the most authentic war film I've ever seen, and that's saying quite a bit. Everything from the uniforms to the weapons, placement of people in clearing operations, chatter over the radio, but the thing that stuck out to me the most is the human element. See, a lot of war films depict the armed services as being a bunch of emotionless, yes sir, no sir, I don't know sir, nonstop nonsense, and granted, there's quite a bit of that here too, but Warfare manages to show the human side of things. When I say frontline infantry units, especially SEALs and Marines, are some of the gayest, most depraved and disgusting human beings I've ever met, I mean it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Warfare shows the full spectrum of this. The SEALs are cracking jokes on one another and doing weird sexual dances one moment, to absolutely panicking and struggling to adjust to the chaos that's happening around them the next. All of that is bolstered by the stellar performances across the board, mostly in part to DeFaro Wu-Tang and Eyebrows. Wu-Tang plays the part of comms, which in military terminology means he's the one in the platoon tasked with communicating to any outside elements, like headquarters, air support, or other friendly units in the area. Wu-Tang's performance is gripping. It definitely falls into the jokes 1 second and then holy shit is this really happening moments later element I just mentioned. His character is emotionally expanded on a bit more, which makes sense since he's the one the story is being told by, and the film does a great job of framing him in a way that you empathize with what's going on around him.
You're gonna cry in the car.
Then you've got Eyebrows as the platoon commander, which is the one that stuck out to me most, and he's the guy that's in charge of everything from troop welfare, making decisions on where to move to. He pretty much dictates instructions out to everyone else. He's hardened, stern, doesn't really play into the friendly, joking mood the rest of the platoon is in, but what sets Eyebrows apart is that there's a specific event that happens, and you see all of that come crashing down. Of course, everyone is subjected to this, and it affects everyone pretty much the same way, but Eyebrows adds an extra layer to that emotion because of his position and title. See, in the military, the commander is the one who's supposed to be squared away, as we say. He keeps everyone together, he keeps himself together, and he still performs his duties accordingly, which Eyebrows does do here, but there's a certain breaking point that he reaches, and it plays out on screen in a beautiful but haunting manner. Oh, and there's Joseph Quinn too. He's in here. He doesn't talk too much. He screams. He's all right. He does a good job. He doesn't have much of a presence in this film, at least not to the level that Wu-Tang and Eyebrows do. What brings all of this authenticity together is the practical effects and sound design. If there was any CGI in Warfare, I couldn't spot it. But then again, I'm as blind as a fucking bat. What stuck out to me, which is going to sound stupid because, hello, this is a war film, is the combat itself. Yep, told you that would sound stupid, but just hear me out. I'm talking about the effects specifically. Rounds literally cracking through the air, explosions kick up enough debris that rooms and streets look like fucking Silent Hill. The environment, may it be light poles, vehicles, or entire fucking buildings, all reflect real-time damage. I was just impressed, man. You know, I gotta stop jerking this film off because nobody wants to hear me talk for 3 damn hours. So let me just end the positives here by saying this. As someone who's seen most of this stuff right in front of me in real life, I couldn't find any discrepancies. A24 could have marketed this thing as a documentary, and I would have believed it. So, if you're looking for a film that gives an authentic insight into what happened during the war in the Middle East, this is the one. The only negative I'd say that I have is that the ending comes kind of out of nowhere. For the sake of spoilers, I won't mention how or why, but just know that Warfare stops pretty abruptly. You're just sitting there completely glued to the screen, rooting for these guys, and then boom, credits. No more. Go fuck yourself. It doesn't ruin the film. I'll say that because I'm a firm believer that if you don't stick the landing, it can tarnish everything else. But the way it goes down, it's going to have you raising your eyebrow a bit.
Fuck.
Well, that leads us here. The question I always ask, and I'm pretty sure you fuckers are sick of it at this point. But, we happy?
We happy?
Yeah, we happy.
Warfare is absolutely brilliant, truly. And through over 30 films that I've seen so far this year, it's found its way at the top of my list. Yep, I said it. Warfare is my #1 film of 2025 so far. But, I am obviously biased due to my military affiliation, so do with that what you want. However, from me to you guys, if you're looking for an authentic, emotionally heavy, brilliantly performed, and well-written war film to help cleanse your palate from the absolute monkey shit list of films in March, look no further. Sincerely, check Warfare out. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for checking out my review. I'll talk to y'all later.